What's going on, guys? Scriptures and Wall Street. I'm your host, Carlos Cortez, with another episode of Scriptures and Wall Street. We've been at it for a long time, 2-3 years now, and man, I love doing this. I take these breaks and I come back energized. I come back with so much content I want to talk about, and then boom, something happens and derails me, and then work, and then clients call, and all these things happen. And then next thing you know, we have an assassination attempt. How crazy is this? But, I got some weird vibe. I can't mathematically figure it out. So call me conspiracy theory, but I do have an observation. Are you guys open to hear that? Well, here's my observation. My observation is, as soon as there's a volatility index of the VIX, when it gets under 13 and it stays stagnant for a long time, like it has been. We've been talking about the VIX. If you've been following us, we've been talking about the volatility index being so low that nothing has moved it. Not the bank errors, not the commercial real estate crisis, bank closures, failures, inflation woes, wars. I mean, yeah, we got a shot. It went up to 21 recently, but let's just pull up the charts real quick. And before I do, let me say my disclosure. Everything on this podcast is for information and education purposes only. I'm not giving investment advice. This is not financial advice. Do not say I told you to sell a stock. That's not what this is about, or buy a stock. And if you want investment advice, then give us a call, 813-448-3446, or simply go to cortezwm.com. We would love to give you some godly, patriotic advice on what to do with your retirement, particularly your investments, how long your money's going to last you, what you need to do in a falling bank failure atmosphere, a falling interest rate environment atmosphere, and more importantly, a woke agenda atmosphere. And the volatility index, man, holy cow. We've been talking about the VIX for, all year long. So what's interesting is, let me share my screen real quick. And I'm going to be talking about charts. I'm getting right to it, man. There's no time to be messing around and talking about fluff. Let's get down to the brass tacks, homie. You guys cool with that? I am. All right, so here we go. So the volatility index, it was, okay, so assassination attempt. All right, so that Monday happened on the weekend. That Monday, the 17th, the volatility index was at 11.8. And currently, right now, it did go up just a hair to 13. Back when we had a scare, it went to 21 when we had a few bank failures. But I'm here to tell you guys, there hasn't been anything, man. There hasn't been anything. Look how flat this is. This is notoriously flat. And it's usually when it's this flat, we see a spike, just like a stock. Anytime it hits an all-time low, it shoots up. But as of late, it's been flat. And even with this assassination attempt, it did go up a little bit, but not enough. And so we know the markets are manipulated. If you look at Donald Trump stocks, they shot up. Wall Street has now put their money where they believe that Donald Trump is going to win the election. Usually you can tell what Vegas is, or what the sports are going to do. Just look at Vegas. I mean, the mob already has the fix in, right? Most of these sports are all rigged. Super Bowl is rigged. All these things are rigged, guys. And the casinos, they make a ton of money. And they are legit with, it's just all mob money, in my opinion. It's the same thing with Wall Street. They already know what's going to happen before it happens. They already know, and it's manipulated. But we can still make money off a rigged market. And so that's why I'm here to just give you some information. As we look at these charts, one thing that does come to my mind is that if we look back during COVID, Look how this bad boy just shot up. Boom. It was at 84. A normal healthy volatility will be around 15 to 20. Typically over the past decade, right? I mean, it's an ATR average trade range around 20, 15 to 20. Anything over 15 is going to be pretty high. And so when we get these spikes, you can see where there's a lot of volatility index. Now, because it's been in consolidation mode for so long, there is going to be an event that spikes this up out of this trading range. And I don't know what that is. Maybe it's the election flu. Maybe it's a COVID 2.0. Maybe it's the bird flu. There's messages with woke media, mainstream media saying that there's bird flu. I mean, whatever election flu they try to throw at it. Honestly, call it what you want to call it. I think they're going to try to assassinate Biden. And this is where you can call me conspiracy theory. It's all good. It's free speech. I can say what I want on my show, right? My opinion. But I think they're going to try to do something with Biden. I think they're going to try to snipe him. And I don't think he'll be successful. I don't think he'll have the armor of God on like Trump did. That was a straight, angelic, supernatural moment for our history, for our country. And it should bring you to the realization that every single day you better wake up and start praying, because every single day we got a sniper on our head that is trying to shoot us. His name is Satan. Every single day when you wake up, you should piss off a demon. Like, we are called to piss off demons and be warriors for the kingdom. And so that's what Trump did that day. And God, with his righteous hand, used his angels to deflect that bullet where it missed his cranium by millimeters. He turned his head, missed his brain. This would have been an atrocity, a dead former president from an assassination. We haven't seen that in decades, man. Not in my livelihood. And I'm 41. I have never seen that. I've read it in history books, but that is going into history books. Even the picture of him holding his feet. They even have, if you go to trumpsneakers.com, the shoes, like there's even sneakers selling for $300-400 right now. You can buy his shoes. They plastered a photo on a pair of kicks and you can buy them. The gold shoes are still worth a ton of money. I don't know where I have mine at. I got them somewhere. Oh, I put them away in my closet. Thought I had them here. But hey, the good news is Trump has to win. Like, America knows that, like, the BS is gone. Like, the polls don't mean jack. Biden doesn't mean jack. He's tried and true. He took a bullet to the face and he fist bumped and said, "You got to fight. We got to fight." He looked at the crowd and said, "We got to fight." Like, regardless of the fat female women that look like Rosie O'Donnell that can't even holster a gun. Even with all that, he still stuck his hand in the air and said, "Let's fight." And the crowd responded it with a spirit of patriotism. We didn't riot. We didn't go do Freddie Gray and blow up Baltimore or Minneapolis and Black Lives Matter this and kill people this. They did. We didn't. We stayed true to our American values, our conservative values. We're respectful. We're praying for our former president and hopefully our new current president. Guys, I mean, what better leader could you ask for? I mean, that was amazing. That was amazing. Look, let's put aside his love for Israel. Let's put aside the vaccine. Let's put aside everything. And just think about this. You got shot up in the face. It missed your brain. You were speaking and literally blindsided by this moment, and you stick your hand in the air to your people to fight. That's my leader. That's the guy I want to follow. At 70, at 74 plus age, or whatever, how old he is, he showed the testosterone that America needed. He showed the leadership America needed. He didn't buckle. He didn't get scared. He didn't cry. He showed exactly what America needed, and that was masculinity. And this is our problem with America, is that we don't have any more masculinity anymore. The left has tried to dumb us down, to try to milk us down, to make us look all girly, especially blacks and Latinos. And every commercial, beer commercial, you see a fat guy drinking potato chips, not being present with the wife, and laughing everything off, laughing life away. It's okay to be lazy. And the women are working harder. The women are being present with the kids. The women have the spiritual priesthood in the home. The women this, the women that, to the point where Kim Kardashian with the GQ magazine basically was man of the year. And we think that's funny. But yet, this is what's killing America right now. It's killing our legislative system. It's killing the church, where you think you could be gay and accepted, and you, the pastor, don't have the balls to preach God's message. You want to get it confused with, oh, well, God wants to love everybody, and we should bring everybody together and blah, blah, blah. Man, screw that. No. God is a God of justice, man. He is a God of righteousness and justice. He will not be mocked. And he will slap you sideways and fire you like the strange fire, like the Levites. And the church should not be catering to the homosexuals, to the abomination topics that hurt the church. We've gotten lack on our music. We've gotten lack on acceptance. We've gotten lack and weak on alcohol. There's more people that drink in the church than more so than ever. Like, I stopped drinking 3 years ago, and I no longer get invited to Bible studies. I no longer get invited to restaurants during the middle of the day from my church buddies. So when you stop drinking, your friends will change, even inside the church. We've gotten weak, man. We've gotten weak. And so I want to say that I think it was awesome, disgusting. I had a lot of feelings on Saturday. I was in disbelief. Like, we were that close from losing Donald Trump. Who would take over? I have no idea. And then, him picking Vance, I'm like, why didn't he pick Donald Trump Jr.? Like, what's going on there? Does he not want his son to have that experience? I got a bunch of questions on that, but I'm not here to talk about too much about politics. I like talking about politics. I'm here to talk about the markets, and that's why I have the screen up. Actually, before I talk about charts, I want to show you this video real quick.
So I find it thrilling.
Tucker, the past 24 hours has been wild, the amount of news that has come out. How did the attempted assassination on former President Donald Trump change this election?
Well, Trump won when that happened because he displayed physical courage. And, if you live in a society where people are literally dating by remote, virtually, and working virtually, you can kind of lose touch with the physical reality of life. But the unchanging truth is that leadership requires courage, and not just abstract courage, moral courage, but physical courage. Someone starts shooting a rifle. Like, are you going to wet yourself and start crying and run away? Or are you going to stand up and look at your people and raise your fist and say, fight? And very few people are capable of doing that. And he is. And therefore he wins. Because that supersedes all this nonsense that we talk ourselves into believing is important. No, the guy got shot in the face. He stood up with blood streaming down the side of his head, blood on his hands, and said, "Fight!" Totally defiant. That's an act of undeniable courage that was not staged. You couldn't stage that. And that man is the leader, and he wins. And by the way, notice what happens to everyone in the crowd. When a leader is strong, his people are calm. His courage gives them heart. That's true for a father, and it's true for a president. So yeah, he just won, and he deserves to win. Like that was the ultimate test.
Man, I absolutely love that. I love what he said. That was the ultimate test. And that was the first thing. That was legit the first thing I posted on Facebook. Basically, Donald Trump is the next president. As soon as that shot went off and he got hauled in with all the, the fat chicks that were protecting him, I posted that secured his presidency. That's what he needed for the moderates, even lefts. The lefts were already voting for him. You have Amber Rose speaking at the RNC, who was wildly left, socialistic mindset. And she is now converting over to Trump. Like, you're starting to see more and more people come on the red wave because they're realizing they're the real racists. And look, I know we're supposed to be unified, but we want to be gracious. I get that, and that's a fine line. But you have to realize that you legit are with a killing party. You're with a party that believes in killing somebody. So this guy, I don't know what his name is, Crooks. This Crooks guy, we'll play the video here shortly. Basically say he hates Republicans. He hates Donald Trump. Like, yeah, that's terrible. He was also doing ads with BlackRock when he was in high school. And so BlackRock took the videos down, the commercials down. And we know BlackRock's evil. So supposedly BlackRock is innocent because he didn't know anything about whatever. But we all know. We all have our own opinion about that. I'm just in disbelief, guys. I'm in disbelief that what I really think is going to happen, in my opinion, is that I really think that another event is going to happen and they're going to blame it on the conservatives. More importantly, my discernment is telling me that it's time to protect our money, protect our principles and our accounts, and put the armor of God on. Like, we need to have the armor of God on daily. And we don't know. We don't know when our time is up. I feel we all have a red dot on our head, and we're just dodging it every day. So it's important to stay in scriptures, man. Like, because the money and the politics doesn't mean anything if there's an entity that's trying to kill you in the physical realm as well as the spiritual realm. Going back to the charts, just wanted to say this real quick. So what's interesting is that we have the volatility index. There's also one thing I am looking at is Starbucks, right? We saw Starbucks is still going down. We still have an inflation problem. We still have all these things happening. This is going down, man. Like, people are not spending $5 on coffee anymore. I make my own coffee at home. So Starbucks is going down. People don't have discretionary income. That's not a secret. But what I found interesting is, as soon as Donald Trump got shot, Wall Street said, you know what? He's going to win the election. And look at KRE. Look at stinking KRE. I got a golden cross right here, man. And you guys know I've been watching this bad boy for a long time. I got a buy signal. On... Oh, man, when is that? Literally the 15th, right? We got a buy signal there from the 9th to the 15th, around there. boom, Trump gets shot at, and this goes up. The reason why is because Wall Street knows that Trump is more financially friendly with banks. They'll allow less regulations for banks to make more money. Real estate will go up. The economy will be stronger, and so the banks will benefit from it. And it just shot up. Now we still have bank problems. We still have FDIC bankrupt issues. We still have failing banks, commercial real estate crisis, inflation issues, inverted yield curve. We still have these crises. But this is a major, like a linebacker, just completely Brian Urlachered and stopped the threat. And that's what's happening right now. So I'm going to be looking at lots of charts. There's going to be a lot of volatility because it's been so low. And once it hits a certain low, it tends to bounce high. And when it bounces high in that volatility index, then that's when all the issues come up. And that's where the dirty laundry gets aired out. And that's when we see those corrections. That's when we do all this. So I think the market will go up short term. But as soon as President Trump gets in, we're going to start to see a massive correction. So if we go to the S&P 500, and this is the futures, I was actually just drawing this out. Let me go to my other tool that I got here, my swing trading tool. And I was drawing a wedge right here. So whenever we see this wedge and this white sprinkled lines, that means there's a low ADX. And typically what this happens is this pattern, this wedge pattern that is being formed, there's always a subsequent breakout that typically happens. So when we have a breakout, typically it's going to be on the downside. So the breakout will happen and it will go on the downside. And I feel that it will crash. It will go down. Boom. Like here's the S&P 500. These are the futures. We could see some all-times low. The last time it was low was 24.93. That was obviously 2020. But even if we hit this low here at 34.93, 3,500 level, that would be just a massive, that would be a good 25, 30% drop off. This actually coincides with some of the articles that are being taught or that are being read and published that we just read in our last podcast. That Yahoo News is predicting, that economists are predicting a 32% drop. So a 32% drop will get us around that 37 level. But my question to you is, if you have monies in mutual funds, if your parents are elder and they have money in the stock market, mutual funds, what are you doing right now to protect yourself? If Trump wins the election, yes, it will bump. But what's going to happen is he's going to cut all these things that Biden has done. They're going to make him look bad. And basically they're going to say, oh, see, you stupid conservatives. This is what happens when a conservative goes in, the stock market fails, and then boom, they crash everything on his watch. But whatever they throw at him, it's like duck feathers, man. It just bounces back off. If anybody can correct a upcoming recession, it's Donald Trump. So that's what I got today, man. It's like we're going to see a correction, but we're also going to get out of it. So you need to have an account that can pivot daily, that can avoid the pitfalls, get out of the market, and then actually make money when the index and the markets go back up. What kind of tool do you have in order to do that? Because it could take another 4 to 5, 6 years to make your money back. If you look back in the history of things, let me go to all right. Well, here's 2020. We were graced that boom, we shot out of here very quickly. But there are a lot of issues, guys, that will take a long time for us to get out of the ringer, so to speak. So I wanted to show you what happened to the dollar right when we had this assassination attempt with Trump. So we got a buy signal, and obviously my system told me that, hey, the dollar is going to go up to about 105 at pair. I mean, we're like the number one currency right now. in the world. Like it is strong. And then boom, it starts to go down a good 105 to 103. So a good 8-10%. The dollar went down, and it's still like it's going down. Like this is a huge pattern. You see this wide fanning out, and I get a purple death cross here with my red traffic lights. This has so much momentum that the dollar is getting worse. So, all right. This is how I know that things are rigged, because how in the world do we have an up in our markets, and then as soon as Trump assassination happens, the dollar starts going down? So this tells me that other countries are unloading their dollar. They're buying more gold, they're buying more precious metals. So we're going to see the dollar go down. I don't know how low it's going to go, but one thing I will say is that Trump will try to make the dollar stronger. He is going to stop the BRICS. Like that is a huge, huge threat to not just our economy, but the whole world. So I'm interested to see, and I will be following this, the BRICS, on actual charts on what it's going to look like moving forward. Because right now the dollar is going down temporarily. Now, if I pan out to my weekly chart, which is a lot different from my daily chart, we do see a little slight dig on a dollar, but the dollar has been lower. The dollar has been lower, man. So it's still higher than what it was, than some part of last year, but it's been staying honestly stagnant for a long time, since 23. So I mean, there's no like rush to buy precious metals right now, because I'm looking at the dollar right now, and everyone that's trying to, fearmonger you into buying precious metals, they don't even show you the charts, right? And they'll say, oh yeah, gold has gone this, but there's other asset classes that do better than gold and precious metals. And that's why you need to call us. Give us a call, 813-448-3446 or CortezWM.com. And look, if there is a financial reset where we no longer have US dollar, your precious metals is not going to help you. You would need a survival tent. You would need AR-15s. You would need an endless supply of water, toiletry supplies, food, seeds, shelter, because your dollar won't be worth anything, neither will anything else. So it would be full-blown survival mode if that was the case. So precious metals is not going to get you anywhere. It is good. It is good as emergency bucket, but you need to be able to have a portfolio that's liquid, that can trade in and out of the market, so you can make money off of this rigged election, this rigged economy, this rigged stock market, this artificially inseminated system. And you need to have an insurance contract that will guarantee your principal, and we utilize that for your safe money. Now, our safe money grows just as well as the markets do. Actually, sometimes even better, because there's no fees and there's no risk. Depending on your state, we can make an assumption, make a suitability recommendation, see if it's right for you. All you got to do is go to CortezWM.com. Let's get your safe money contract ready to roll, because it makes money up, sideways, as well. Your principal is protected when it goes down. So if you're only making money 33% of the time, why are you in it when you should be either protecting your money or making money with your retirement 80% of the time or 99% of the time, right? You should be protecting your money, not losing or gaining. I have this saying that I like to teach myself and my kids. I play ice hockey. I just started playing 4 years ago. My son just started playing 4 years ago. Of course, my son is going to be better than me one day, and he's already getting better than me. And when he loses a game, or we go fly out to these tournaments and they don't win one stinking game, I say, Nathaniel, you're either learning or you're winning. So take these mistakes that you've learned in 2001 and in 2008 and in December of 22 and in 2018, all these mistakes, you've known how long it's taken you to recoup your losses. You learn from that. You've learned from that. Renewing of the mind. Romans 12:12. Renewing of the mind. Like you've given us this gift, and life happens for you, not to you. We need to get out of this victim mentality, prepare, be confident, raise your fist in the air and say, fight, fight, fight. How we fight is we protect our money from the rigged stock market. You only have a little bit in the market. You only have a little bit in precious metals. And we have a good portion of it in a safe money bucket that is principally protected, guaranteed, insured. Guess what? If the financial reset happens, if the dollar crashes, you have an insurance contract that protects your principal and that will guarantee you your principal through the base of the strength of an insurance company to literally give you equal or greater value. When the roof blows off from the next tornado warning or a hurricane, they got to replace it equal or greater value. If someone hits you in your car, their insurance, they have to replace it with equal or greater value. So this is not a time to try to speculate in the market. This is a time to take the profits off the table. The market's up about 15% year to date. Take some profits off the table. Drive on the right-hand side. We are going to see massive volatility. That's why I started with the VIX. The VIX is so low. It's going to pop back up. And when it pop backs up, it might be too late for you. You might get suckered into, I'll wait till it comes back up. Well, what if it doesn't come back up in the next 2 to 3 years and you're 65 years old trying to retire? You're basically going to retire when the market comes back up. Don't do that to yourself. I've seen it so many times as a retirement planner. People get into that nonsense of, oh, I'll retire when I have X amount of dollars. And then boom, a stock market crashes. And they're like, oh, well, I guess I have to work another 3 more years. Meanwhile, your kids are growing up. Your grandchildren are learning to walk, and you're missing all of it because you're stuck at a job being a slave to the dollar. Don't do that to yourself. Protect your principal. Gain your control back. You have no control when you have your money in the market at all. Now, the best thing to do is if you do have money in the market, to hire money managers that can control the downsides and the upsides, and we can navigate that for you so that your principal is secured and protected. And then if that's not good enough, then we add more money to the guaranteed bucket of your portfolio. Well, guys, I love y'all. Wanted to talk about Trump and the markets, and we'll continue to talk more about it. And I also want to revisit some of the trades that I'm personally doing. I am testing out my inner circle trade. So basically a year from now, I'll be rolling out a inner circle. It's not a client deal, but it would be a subscription to join the inner circle, and I will give you trade signals of what we're buying. And literally our goal is to make 100 to 200% a year in these type of trades, and we're only going to trade 1 or 2 ETFs, and that's it. My scripture today, guys, is the entire universe is standing on tiptoe, yearning to see the unveiling of God's glorious sons. Romans 8:19. I'll repeat that. The entire universe is standing on tiptoe, yearning to see the unveiling of God's glorious sons. Romans 8:19. I love that verse because we're all sinners, and he still calls us glorious because we are washed with white as snow. We're washed with his blood. And I think it's perfect because he literally puts his hand in the air in glory and says, fight. We have to use this time to just really reflect that where is the armor of God showing up in our lives? More than ever, I want you guys to understand that Satan is here to attack you, your masculinity. He's here to attack your country. What are you doing to fight back? How are you being prepared for everyday battles? My message and my challenge to you is to piss off Satan every day, to put that armor of God on, to be righteous, because God has it in his scripture, that the whole world is waiting for righteousness. The whole world wants it. The whole world wants you. But the righteous are bold as a lion, Proverbs 28:1. The whole world is waiting for your righteousness. Yes, that's why God created you. And we call it with heroic holiness. It's standing on a tiptoe, yearning to see the unveiling of God's glorious sons. So we crave to see anointing from God. Like it's biblical. Romans 8:19, to have that craving of men that are righteous. It is incredible. You want to talk about going viral? Show righteousness in your neighborhood, in your community, and you will go viral. Maybe not the way that you think, but you will with blessings, with God's grace. Well, guys, I'm out of here. God bless you. I love talking about this stuff. I can talk about it for hours. Don't forget to like and subscribe my Rumble channel, Scriptures and Wallstreet on Rumble. We only have a few hundred followers. We should be having like tens and 20,000 followers. Of course, I don't care about the number. I care about the content, the message. And I do go on live from time to time. So there'll be exclusive content. And I'm going to be building more and more content in that channel. So we're on Stu Peters, we're on Frank's Speech, we're on Rumble, we're on X. So if you're listening from multiple platforms, let me know. Comment where you hear us from. God bless you guys. And give us a call, 813-448-3446 if you want to support our channel. Or just go to CortezWM.com. And I'm out of here, guys. God bless you. Bye-bye.